Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Basking Broodscale on the play for game one. I mean, all we're missing here is the blade, so we'll just send it. Urza Saga. And passing and pass. We could needle, but you don't know what we're up against. We are going in blind. There's Lotus Bloom. Bolt. Hopefully they don't have a spell snare. That would kind of suck. Broodscale. Pass. There's a Stern Scolding. Rip. Alright, we pass. So we have Vexing Bobble, Needle, and Besiju. Draw. Rumble, Float. Vexing Bobble. And cast Rumble. Does Rumble resolve? Rumble resolves. There's Emrakul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are pretty short, so I think I might just go Flesh Rake here. Resolve. Play Grove the Burn Willows. Pithy Needle. Name Goblin Char Belcher. And pass. Next turn we can Besiju a land. Two. Thundertrap Trainer. And right now I do have him under lock and key. We can play the Flesh Raker without issue. There's Seagate. Play Seagate, Bolt. Alright, we draw. Emrakul, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can't play both Flesh Raker and Besiju, but I'm tempted to play the Besiju to pop the Seagate. Yeah, because I kind of want to play around, or if at all possible. Besiju. Floats blue, that's fine. You'll fail to find. Phase change. You want to try and into the Flood Maw? I didn't think so. Alright, we'll pass. Next turn we'll try Glaring Flesh Rake. Blue. Flood Maw. Into the Flood Maw. Yield. I get a fish. Bloom hits Yard, okay. And passing. You still have to deal with Pithy Needle on Belcher, though. There's Tameshi. Alright. So now you need a Sink in the Stupor plus Belcher. Unfortunately, I can't K command. I suppose I'll just pass in full at this point. Alright. Draw, land, Tezzeret. Don't think... Actually, Tezzeret does do a little bit here. We can grab for a Soul Guide Lantern, but I think we'll stick with the Vexing Bobble here, so that way we can cast this K command. Bobble. Does Bobble resolve? Bobble resolves. I'll hold up the K command then. And sack Lotus Bloom. Thundertrap Trainer resolves. Okay. What does Trainer find? Opponent's Tinkin. I mean, the needle's good here. The bobble's good here. The main problem, of course, is a sink in the stupor to bounce the needle. What I really want here is a Eldrazi Temple, to be honest. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. An Eldrazi Temple would be good. There's Spell Snare, so you could Spell Snare to Flash Rake, admittedly. Bolt in Hydroelectric, so you can do just that. Kind of rude, not gonna lie. Attack for 1, we'll take 1 down to 19. Draw. Flash Rake. Again, can't really cast the Flash Rake. We could try and go Tezzeret for Soul Guide, but it's probably just best for me to hold Decay command here, honestly. At some point, we're gonna have to just cast it. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're still short on the Emrakul unless we find a temple. 3, float, Tameshi, trigger, target bloom. In response, ramp, exile. Oh, I need to exile and ramp. Ramp, exile. Just one. We'll hold the spawn back. Does this resolve? At this point, we pass in full. You got a counterspell, friend? It resolves, they do not. Perfect. Alright, opponent, what say you? Do you have enough mana to execute what you want? There's the Belcher. So now we do have to worry about a bounce spell on the needle. Draw. So what I want to do now, actually... So I can try and cast... just use spells, never try and cast the Flash Rake. So I think just casting the Tezzeret makes sense here. Cast Tezzeret. Does Tezzeret resolve? Minus Tezzeret. For Haywire Might. Cast Haywire Might. Tezzeret triggers. Do I need to hit the Might now? Not necessarily, but probably is wise to do so. Might will eat Charbelch. And pass in full. And pass. You got a bit greedy there by playing the Belcher, to be honest. Hydroelectric down to 8. Imagine all at Tezzeret. Yes, that makes sense. Tezzeret down. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We do have Emrakul, but they have open mana. So I'm just going to eat this Spell Snare to start. Well, that's mildly concerning. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One short. Triggers. Go to combat, swing for 1. Down to 5. Do you have a way to win? End step. Sink. Whir. Whir for bloom. Okay. Do you have another Belcher? Archaeologist. Finds the Belcher that they're looking for. There's the bloom. There's the Tameshi trigger. I wonder if playing the Emrakul would have been more correct. That way they would have had to spend mana to counter it. So there's 4, there's 7. So you now have activation plus Belcher mana. You need additional 3 for the sink. So again, you have 7, you have 10. Now you have enough mana for both the activation plus you have sink, Tameshi. Again, you have 10, you have enough for an activation, cast, and cast. There's the sink, there's the Belcher, and there is the activation. Unfortunate. I guess maybe I could have just held the Might and held the Belcher hostage, basically. There is some thought to that. Another thought was to playing the Emrakul. Alright, so what do we want here? Dismember's a yes. Let me actually open up my sideboard guide for Broodscale. Broodscale. Belcher. Yeah, just 2 Dismember in. Cut a gemstone, cut a flesh, and run it back. And we played the Emrakul, you would have taken control of their turn. I guess maybe that would have been value if in its own right. They may have countered the body, but we would have had the turn to interact. Yeah, I suppose that's actually a fair point. I was more worried about Emrakul getting countered, but in reality I shouldn't have cared, simply for the fact that Emrakul getting countered doesn't matter if I just take control of their turn and disrupt, right? Yeah, so that was a bit of a misplay on my part. I was too focused on preserving the body and not focused enough on getting the trigger. Draw. Tezzeret Gruul, Captain. So we go Blade of the Blood Chief or the Broodscale. I think we go Blade. We'll pass. And pass. Draw. Flesh Rake. Does Flesh Rake resolve? Consign, yield to all. Untap Halfling, cast the Broodscale. Broodscale hits the board, and we pass. $14, draw. Grove the Burn Willows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In that case, cast Blade of the Blood Chief. Triggers. Untap Halfling. Tap Halfling. Sink the Broodscale. Yes, that will resolve. Cast Broodscale. And I suppose we just equip. And I'm probably right to just do so at this point. And pass. And pass. So they laid me for a turn. Is it enough not to lose the following turn, though? Were for 0. There's the bloom for 3 white. For 3 white. For 3 blue? Are we trying for blue? That would be my thoughts. Land tapped. Alright. We draw Basking. And Bone skips it up. We'll take the win. Alright. Let's go to sideboard. We'll bring the gemstone back in. And for Belcher, we'll cut a rumble. And run it back. I mean, yeah, we can try and make this work. Pass. Seagate. Second Broodscale. I kind of wanted to land there, not gonna lie. Oofda. We'll take the bauble. Again, really need a land here. At least we got rid of, what, 5 cards that were non-lands off top. Benefit of the Stirrings there. We really need a land. Draw. Cast the bauble. Pass. Does it resolve? Pressing X to doubt. It does. That probably tells me they have a whir in hand. Bolt. Oofda. Draw. Halfling. Yeah, we took a risk, and it is biting us in the end. I will pass. I will pitch a rumble. And pass. I have only 3 green sources that I can draw into now. Draw. And we hit it. Halfling or rumble here. Rumble. Pain cost. Flare, yield all. And pass. And pass. Attack for 2, down to 16. Passing, draw. Another forest. Cast rumble. Rumble resolves. There's Basking. Basing's interesting. Either that or Temple. Basking has more utility overall, so we're going to go Basking. Play the halfling pass. Stern Scolding. And pass. 2. Down to 14. Draw. Play the Temple. Flesh Rake. Consign. Broodscale. Passing. Jawari Disruption. You gonna run out of counter magic at some point? Because that'd be really great. Be really awesome if you ran out of counter magic at some point. Draw. Land. Play the land. Broodscale. You got more? Jesus Christ. So that's a Flare, Stern Scolding, Consign, Jawari, Consign. Cool. We'll hold the Beseiju. We have how many types in yard right now? 1, 2, 3. Finds were. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Looks like we only have 3 types in yard right now. Pulls Consign. Interesting. They just want to go for the fish beatdown at this point. Fair game, I suppose. Land. Consign in hand, 1 unknown. Draw. Forest. At some point, I should just crack this Vex bubble. Hell, we're gonna do it now. Crack the bubble. Draw a card. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could somehow get command into yard. I am tempted to Beseiju here. Go to upkeep. Paying cost. Waterlog Teachings. Waterlog Teachings finds were. So basically, if they find a land, they can get Belcher into play, but we have to Beseiju up. Word. Do you have a Tameshi, maybe? Were for 0. There's the bloom. You don't have enough for Belcher plus. Paying cost for what? Tameshi. Okay, there's the Tameshi. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're too short. Tameshi triggered. Targets bloom. I can't do anything about that, so sure. You pick up... which land did I pick up? I should have actually paid attention to what they had. Returns a land. You have to return the Seagate. I should have popped the Seagate, actually, yeah. That's on me. Because now if they draw into whatever, right? Now they can potentially win. Yep, not much I can do about that. At least not now. Before I could have, now I can. Yes. Basically, they're just going to pick up all their lands. And then cast Seagate. Yeah, once they cast Tameshi, I should have Beseju'd the Seagate Restoration. That's what I should have done. Ooh, were. Okay, it didn't matter. They had the were. Yep. Does not matter because they'll have the activation cost, so I will concede. Alright. Yeah, the Harbinger locked me out there. Unfortunate. But we'll be back for match 2. Alright, we're back for match 2 on the play for game 1. Well, it makes this hand better. Temple, Halfling. Yeah, fine. We can make this work. Looks like opponent might be on Grixis Reanimator. So trying to resolve this Tezzeret or holding up K command will be relevant. And we shouldn't have to worry about counterspells short of a Spell Pierce. So the only thing we do have to worry about is probably pushes. And of course, good old Archon. So yeah, if we can get Tezzeret into Soul Guide, that would be good. Otherwise, holding up K command X1 would also be good. Opponent has a pause on my upkeep. I'm not sure they're aware of it. But we'll take a quick pause while our opponent figures that out. Alright, we're back. Let's play the Springleaf and pass. Swamp. Thoughtseize. Self. Oh, I really need a either Temple or the Soul Guide off the top now. Draw. Do I even... No, I mean, they're going to persist. They're going to persist. So I'm just going to hold the K command. Do it. Do it, coward. Yeah, I do need to pay attention to... On MTGO, at least, it's a bit less intuitive. In paper, at least, the opponent will say targeting so-and-so, right? Versus here, I need to pay attention to who they're actually targeting. So now I have to fear the K command. Do you still go for it? Fetch. I mean, Reanimator is here to do Reanimator things, so I feel like they are. Steam Vent Shock, 15. Persist. In response, ramp, exile cards in yard. Archon out, done. And Archon down. And pass. And draw. Ooh, hello. So I can Temple. I can Flesh Rake. I can tap, sack, tap, Tezzeret. Trigger. Yeah, we can do everything we want to do. Good stuff. Tap, sack, tap, Tezzeret. Trigger. Trigger. Minus. Soul Guide Lantern. Soul Guide Lantern, sack, trigger. And Tezzeret trigger, Soul Guide Lantern trigger. We'll just eat the Thoughtseize. Yield all and pass. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are 2 short of Emrakul. Because Tezzeret can untap the Springleaf Drum for an additional mana. Tezzeret is a good card. Theater Surveil. Thought Scour. Pain Cost. Thought Scour. Faithless Looting in Yard. Thoughtseize takes the Emrakul. Unfortunate, but that's fine. Passing. Draw. I think Cakeman wins me the game. So, Springleaf Drum. tap. I guess we should actually do this after combat. Hold up. Go to combat. Attack. Down the 9. Springleaf Drum. Tap. Oh, I guess I can't. That's fine. K command. X equals 6. Triggers. 7. So yeah, if we just have the Flesh Rakery win. Top, draw, triggers. Down to 2. Untap. Tap. And sack. And sack. Triggers. ETB. Triggers. Win. Cool. Reanimator. Win for game 1. Let's move to game 2. Let's take a look at the sideboard guide for Reanimator. So, cut Halfling, cut Might, cut Bauble for Grafdiggers, Whale, Dismember. And I guess on the draw we probably cut another Halfling. Yes. Alright, let's run it back. This is going to be our last league before the end of the season. And we're going to reset all of our data and start really doing some in-depth testing between 6 decks, 2 versions of 3 different archetypes of Broodscale, E-Tron, and E-Ramp. The most significant is definitely going to be Broodscale and E-Ramp. I think I'm going to do Broodscale. We're testing Tezzeret versus Lab. I just need to figure out the last few sideboard cards. And then there's going to be E-Ramp with Ice Till and Airghast. And I'm thinking maybe a version without Airghast. I'm not sure if I want to go more traditional of like Devour of Destiny or if I want to go with Ugin instead. I think Ugin's a lot better with Ice Till because it's a lot easier to generate 7 non-Eldrazi mana than it used to be. Because if you're making multiple land drop of Ice Till, then you can get the 7 pretty quick. In fact, I think you can do it as early as turn 3, right? 4 mana on 2, play Ice Till. Play an additional land, 5. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you get the 7 mana as early as turn 3 with Ice Till. So I think I want to go towards Ugin. Not sure if I want to do it like as a one of Ugin to Emrakul, or to stick to more of a traditional list with maybe Null Drifter, go Teamer again. I don't know. I have some thinking to do there. Also, whether or not I like Devourer. Traditionally, I don't like it all too much, but people have had decent success with it. So opponent's going to be bringing in Consign. Harbinger if it wasn't already main. Wonder what else. Imagine that's about it. Alright, our deck list was submitted, so looks like opponent may have not sideboarded. Not gonna complain. There's Grafdiggers on one. I mean, that's pretty good if they do tap down. If they don't, then we'll probably just play the Halfling here. We'll pass. Opponent's down to 6. You got on to 5. I wonder if there's ever an instance where Reanimator's on the draw with an opening 7 with a Unearthed Oculus in hand, if they would ever just draw a card past pitch Oculus. I doubt there's ever an instance where that's the case, but it'd be interesting if that's ever happened. Blue Delta, fetch 19. Do you have a seize? And if so, is it targeted at me or you? Correct. looting. They're tapped down, so we're gonna go Graft Diggers. Frog, Archon, and Yard. Draw. Alright, Friendo. Gonna cast my Graft Digger's Cage and pass. And pass. Opponent is contemplating. Trying to figure out what they do about Graft Diggers. I'm trying to remember if Reanimator has any artifact hate going for it. Let's take a look. Metagame, modern, Reanimator, which is kind of starting to fall off a bit. Meltdown, they might have 2 meltdowns in the side. Yeah, like 2 in the majority of them. My dude. Graft Digger's Cage. Do you think I just play some random ass artifact for no reason? Alright, well, we'll take the win. We'll be back for match 3. Alright, we're back for match 3 on the play for game 1. Sure. And the forest, a springleaf drum, and pass. Make my day, opponent. Play Urza's Saga on 1. No. One can hope. Alright, let's play the Might. The Might is right, and pass. Question is, do we go for Flesh Raker next turn or hold for K command? Probably just go for the K command, I'd imagine, because we'll have a K command X equals 2 Triome, so Zoo. Okay. Steam Vents, and a Silent Draco? Or Kavu? Kavu's fine, we can K command it. We'll do it on our turn to avoid the Stubborn Denial. I'd love to see a Temple off top. The K command's pretty good though. Alright, K command, cast, Ramp Exile. Ramp Exile, I mean, yeah, the other K command, it makes sense. X equals 2, Kavu down. And we hold. Kind of want to hold the Beseiju for the inevitable Silent Draco. Arid Mesa fetch. Silent Draco, there it is. And draw. Soul Guide Lantern, not really doing much. I mean, if we just go Flesh Raker. Yeah, let's start with Flesh Raker. Does the Flesh Raker resolve? We still have green mana thanks to Springleaf Drum, Soul Guide Lantern trigger. Always yield. Always yield. ETB. Target. Windswept Teeth. And I suppose we'll just hold at this point. No reason to really press forward with the Beseiju until we absolutely need to. Fetch Arid Mesa 15. Wandering Falls Surveil. They can't do much about the Beseiju, so the Silent Draco is down. Paying cost bolt. Rude as hell. Yeah, that's fine. Begin combat. I'll take the 4. I don't want to give them an extra mana on their turn if I can help it. Down to 16. Blood Crypt tapped. End step. Beseju. Sign of Draco down. At the end of the day, your life is a resource. It's best to use it. But I really do need a threat here at some point. Now we could actually cast our K command and just hold up 1 for the stubborn denial. That's a genuine consideration. Saga's good though. Saga trigger. Let's go to combat. Start there. Swing with might. For the might is always right. I guess I can wait until they cast something next turn. Paying cost, Doorkeeper Thrall. Yeah, I'm going to K command that. I want to play around a Flage in hand. So we're going to Scry Draw Exile. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap. And done. No Flage, please. Ooh, another K command. I do like that. Don't really care for the halfling at this point, though. Bottom of the halfling. I think we top K command, top forest, draw forest, and pass. Yeah, this way they have to cast the Flage and have it hit yard for the Soul Guide Lantern. Not here for them to cheat it out, if I can help it. Bolt. Rude, but fine. Gain 2 life. Paying cost for a Fable. I guess that makes sense why I want to get rid of the Might. Yeah. That way you can pitch cards, which means we probably have to crack the Soul Guide before they pitch with Fable, because then we don't have an opportunity to respond after if they pitch Flage. Yeah, I suppose. Forest and hold. Trigger. Or draw. Triggers. Before this resolves, we're going to exile your yard. No Flage for you, friend. Keeps 2 in hand instead of pitching. Okay. Paying cost for what? Another Sign of Draco. Goblin has first strike. We'll take the hit down to 16. 2 cards in hand. And make a treasure. I need to draw into something though. Saga. Make a construct. Yeah, I wonder if I should have cast the K command prior to the Sign of Draco resolving. Maybe. Draw. Triggers. Opponent has something. Ooh. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that looks promising. I guess the only concern, of course, is a Leyline Binding. Float. Float and search. I mean, we can Pithy Needle the Fable or Reflection of the Kiki-Jiki, which I think is relevant. Yeah, probably. Let's go Needle or Reflection of the Kiki-Jiki. Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. That way, they can't copy the sign of the Draco. It's an Emrakul. Body hits the board. Do you have a binding? And there's the binding. Unfortunate, but expected. No attacks. And Leyline of the Guild Pack. That's actually kind of good for you right now, not gonna lie. Windswept Teeth. Go to main. Reflections trigger. Flips. Play Windswept Teeth. Fetch Windswept Teeth. Trigger. Gonna fail to find. Crack the treasure. Go to combat. Attack with a Goblin Shaman. Triggers. Go to blocks. Block. First strike damage. Damage. Crack the treasure. And I think that's all your fetches. I will pass. And pass. We'll take 4 in the air down to 12, but at least we're not taking 8 because Reflection of Kiki-Jiki is underneath Needle. That's good. You know, they have the Leyline of the Guild Pack, so I imagine they play that. Yep, first strike, Hexproof, Lifelink, Trample, Vigilance. One unknown in hand. Would suck if that is... Well, okay, Bolt does actually kind of suck a bit. I will take the 6 down to 10, but we do have free reign to cast the K command here. Though it's only a K command, X equals 2 right now. Draw. Halfling. Halfling's mana neutral because of Drum. K command. Ramp Scry draw. Done. Temple. Those temples are kind of late. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Bottom, draw. Halfling. Not what I wanted. Again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I mean, I can block with 1. Spawn. Doesn't really mitigate too much. If I take 6 here, I'm down to 4, which means I'm Tribal Flames range. If I take 5, I'm still in Tribal Flames range. However, if I take the 6, I'm down to 4, which means I die to the Sign of Draco next turn. So I think we have to actually block with 1. That way we can still take 1 more turn, even if the Sign of Draco attacks in. Draw. Tezzeret. Unfortunately, my knight's already in yard. I will play a halfling. I will cast a Tezzeret. Gruul Captain. I will minus the Tezzeret. I will grab a Blade of the Blood Chief. I'll cast the Blade. Triggered Tezzeret. Basically trying to see whether or not we can get Broodscale next turn. If we can get Broodscale next turn, does it actually mean anything though? Probably not. We'll pass at this point. If they attack both at me, we block the reflection with the halfling. If they have a bolt, they win. If they have a flage, they win. If they have removal, they win. They should kill the Tez, but I'm not sure they're going to. 4 at Tez, 2 at me. We'll block the half lane again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So in that case, we block 2 going at me. I guess I could have equipped the reflection to keep, or equipped the blade to something. Actually, yeah, equipping a blade to the halfling would have been a bad idea. Bit of a misplay on my part. So, Tez down. Emrakul. That's not an Emrakul. At that point, we can block, but we die, we concede. Yeah, if I had equipped the blade to the half lane, that way they couldn't have attacked the Deflection and Kiki. If we had dying, we would have been able to sack the spawn, block it. That would have given us one more turn. Would that have mattered? The world may never know. Alright, let's go to sideboard. Alright, against Zeus, we cut all our halflings. Cut our Vexing Bauble, cut a Fleshrake Needle. And, of course, our Gemstone. Bring in Graph, Whale, Wayscape, and Dismember. And run it back. Yeah, like I said, if I would have equipped Blade by tapping the spawn for the halfling, it would have given me one more turn. I think my only out at that point was an Emrakul, though. I mean, we have 3 in the deck. It is possible. Alright, on the play for game 2. Hits off top. I mean, we specifically need a land here. We play 20 at this point, so we got the Gemstone. 19 hits. I mean, it's not bad. The Wayscapes are really nice. We could go for it, but it is risky. We'll keep it. We shall keep it. Ideally, we're playing the Rumble on 2, or if we get lucky and find the Temples off top, then we can play the Fleshraker. Four hits is the ideal. 19 is adequate. Draw, land, Fleshraker, whiff, pass. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm more than happy to take those odds. 19 hits across one draw, 54, roughly 3. I think 33% per draw. Draw, Broodscale, rip. Yeah, it was 54, 19 hits. So I think it's roughly one draw, 33%. But we whiffed. That was pretty close. 35. Surveil. Land yard. I mean, it costs 3 draws. We should hit it, but we're behind now. We need a temple. A temple might keep us in here, but that depends on whether or not they have a consign in hand. Draw. Okay, Stearns can find us something. Do you have a Stubborn Denial? Man. No lands in the top, what is that now? 8? No lands in the top 8. That's just bad luck. I mean, I can't really say anything about that. I mean, at this point, it's 8 draws, no lands. Yeah, almost 100% chance, about 97. So we're at a 2% chance of whiffing. I mean, we have the Broodscale, so I guess I'll grab the Blade. And yeah, we just pass. I'll pitch what? A Flesh Rake? K command? Probably the Flesh Rake. Fetch Wooded Foothills. Lush Port Surveil. Keeps it on top. Pitch the Flesh Rake. We'll pass. If we somehow win this, it'll be a miracle. Point blank statement. Wear Tear. Rude. Fair though. 16. 2 up. And draw. Alright, do we get a land in the top 9? Hey, look at that. Only took 9 draws. We need another land, so Rumble. Hey, look at that. Forest. And I'm actually going to play the Blade to try and bait out interaction. Because I need this Wayscape to resolve. Bloodchief. Okay, they didn't counter it. Could Wear Tear it, theoretically. We will see. Binding, that's fine. I will take the Binding. We can always get rid of the Binding at the Wayscape. Steam Vents, tapped. 3 cards in hand. And pass. So next turn we can Wayscape, exile the Sign of Draco. Try and reclaim some pressure here, but I fear that they have a consign. Paying cost for Kavu. Kavu's a bit of an issue, but if this resolves, then we're okay. Because then we can just chump block. Do you have consign? No consign. Body resolves. Do you have a bolt? And step and bolt. Yep, okay. So we'll take 5 down to 7. Now I need another land for the K command so I can exile the Kavu. 7. Discard a card, draw a card, Pyroclasm. Yeah, I kind of don't need that right now, do you? Paying cost for Flage. Yeah, I need a land so I can get rid of Flage, get rid of Kavu. We're down to 4, dead to a Tribal Flames. Draw. That is perfect. So in that case, we exile, 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 exile. We could Rumble first. I mean, if they have a Stubborn Denial, we lose regardless, right? So I might as well go Rumble. Rumble, go Templar Blade. We can grab back the Blade with the Leyline Bindings, so I feel like the Temple might be right. Go Rumble. I kind of want to have you fetch before I K command. That way I don't have a blue source up. Do it. Fetch. Crack the fetch land, friend. Perfect. Do I think you'll go for a Surveil land? I'm not entirely sure. So I think I'm just going to go exile, exile now. Exile Kavu, Flage, and Pyroclasm just to send a message. And done. And pass. One card in hand, Surveil, maybe. Sacred Foundry, tapped. Cool. We'll pass. And opponent's passing. We draw. Flesh Raker's looking nice. Flesh Raker number 1. Flesh Raker number 2. Actually, do I want to go Flesh Raker number 2? I want to go Wayscape Battle Mage, exile a Leyline Binding, to be honest. I also kind of want to wait till next turn to do that, so there's also a thought just going Broodscale. Triggers. Bolt. Why would you not hold the bolt for the Broodscale? Weird. I mean, I'm fine with it. I feel like that's a mistake, but I'm fine with it. Hmm. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. No, we wouldn't have that enough. Guess I could Flesh Rake here, but I think I just hold the Adapt. Yeah, I'll just hold the Adapt. In case they try and Pyroclasm it, I suppose. Passing. Main phase for Kavu. Kavu's fine, don't care about Kavu. We have the win in hand. Passing. Draw. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, I think I'm going to start with Flesh Rake. Wayscape. Flesh Rake, Wayscape, Exiles, Binding, always yield. Triggers, always yield. Attempt to equip. Triggers, always yield. And trigger. Always yes, always yield. And that's the game. GG's. Alright, solid win against Zoo there. Played around Hate. Honestly, I'm just shocked that we won that game, given that we had to dig 9 cards deep for a second land. Freaking wild. Alright, Gemstone in. How do we cut on the play here? 4 half lanes, Flesh Rake, Needle Bobble. Oh, no, we're on the draw. Right. Rumble. Right. Alright. Maybe this is a good example of why... Jesus Christ, this hand again. We're going to do this again. I mean, we have a redraw on the way of a Soul Guide Lantern. What's the best case scenario here? I mean, the best case scenario is a Temple once again. Fine. Fine. Pass. We can't get that unlucky multiple times, can we? Draw. Gemstone, you're late to the party. We'll play the Karplusin. We'll play the Soul Guide Lantern or the Blade of the Blood Chief. Can we set up with the Blade? We'd have to find a Rumble. Rumble's 4 hits. Otherwise, it's weak to a Wear Tear, so I think we just play the Soul Guide as a redraw. Worst comes to worst. We'll pass. If they want a Stubborn Denial or Consign It, Be My Guest. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll let that Soul Guide it. Now I know about the command for the hypergeometric. I actually run most of the math in my head at this point. Like, I know that 8 is roughly 15.7%. 8 hits off top, 19. We're looking close to 35. 4 is abysmal. I normally don't go after 4 hits, so it's really 8. Kavu. Draw. Emrakul. Need another land. Could go Blade, could go Broodscale. I think we go Blade here. So we can't really set up, can we? If we cast Blade now, what can we do next turn with it? Not really much, I don't think. Might just be better to play the Broodscale so we can theoretically adapt. Yep, we'll pass. That way you can theoretically adapt and ramp if we miss a land. At least that way we hit our quote-unquote land drop. If they hit it with a Bolt, Flage, or Binding, it's not the end of the world. Annoying, but not the end. Down to 11. Paying cost for Flage. Nope, Sand Draco. Okay, we'll take the 5. Down to 14. Exile, Garden Yard. Yep. Give me a land. Any land. Actually, I need a green source or a color source specifically. That will do. Alright. I will cast Wastegate Battle Mage. Exile Sand Draco. We'll pass in full. Attack with Broodscale. Yeah, one thing you'll learn about me is that I keep risky hands. My threshold is like 8 hits off top, which is roughly 15%. Another Sand Draco? Cool. Keep on tapping your blue mana, please. I mean, this is trample. Do I take the block and mitigate? Otherwise, I go down to 8. That's a Bolt and Tribal Flames. Otherwise, we go down to 10. Yeah, it's probably... Well, actually... Yeah, we'll just block. Down to 10. That's trample. We'll go down to 10. We're just trying to mitigate as much damage as possible, so I'm just out of range of shenanigans. Beseiju. I can cast... I mean, I think at this point... Do I try and resolve this? Or do I think they have a Bolt in hand? I mean, this is a win. Otherwise, I guess we could set up with the K command. We could K command exile the Kavu. Or I can Wastegate Battle Mage, exile the Scion. Yeah, they likely have Binding based on what we've seen. So that's why I'm a bit skeptical of playing the Beseiju in general. We could just kick. And again, go after the Sign of Draco. Draco down. Attack for 2. At some point, they're not going to be able to attack freely. And pass. Land, still 2 in hand. They've hit their land drop every turn. Discard draw? Nope, exiles. They like what they have in their hand. That alone concerns me. We'll block. I would really like a land. That's not this Beseiju. Another Kavu. 1 in hand. And draw. Grove. Asking you shall receive. Going to ramp exile. I kind of want to hold the Beseiju for this reason, because if this resolves and they do have the Binding, then we're kind of okay here. Attack down to 5. Fetch Arid Mesa to 6. Lush Port. Alright. Down to 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So next turn I can go Blade, cast Equip, and still hold up the Boseiju. Attack. Discard a card. Discard a land. We go to blocks, we block. Paying cost for Kavu, 1 card in hand. If it's a binding, I don't care. We draw. A second Blade, actually. Blade. Attempt to equip. Binding ETBs. In response. Boseiju. Yield all. Surveil. Yield all. That is why I wanted to hold Boseiju. Equip. Sack. Triggers. Always yes, always yield. 4. So we need 9 for the Emrakul. I guess also while we're doing this, I should cast the Blade. Equip the Blade. That way I can do this. Triggers. And then equip to one of them. And then do this. And then we'll just keep on going until we get the Emrakul. Do they just concede the Emrakul? Yield all. Let's go to combat. Swing. And we'll scoop it up. Alright. We got there against Zoo. Even through the frickin' some risky hands, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. With that being said, we'll be back for match number 4. All right, we're back for match 4 on the play for game 1. Yep, we keep this. We are going for it. We go Saga. Saga on 1? Yeah, I think I'll just go Saga on 1. We go Saga. Saga trigger pass. And then we go Rumble. Next turn, set up for Broodscale on 3. Running Catacombs, fetch. Thoughtseize takes Broodscale. Overgrown Tomb, shock. 17. Thoughtseize. Familiars, Samwise combo. Draw. Combo v combo, trigger. Grove of the Burn Willows. Malevolent Rumble? I mean, Rumble versus Broodscale should be more or less the same. The main difference is we don't expose Broodscale to a push, right? But we still leave it to seize, but they would have seized on 1, I think. Rumble. Take the Emrakul. 4 types in yard. We pass. And we pass. We have the combo next turn. For Emrakul, at least. We were looking for a payoff. Unfortunately, we missed the K command, but that should be fine. Windswept Heath. Play the Samwise, and we're golden. Gala Shrine. Play Sam. Green, white, Sam. Ritual. More or less the same, that's fine. You don't have interaction. So Ritual into Sam. And then we should be able to disrupt. Attack with Cauldron Familiar down to 18. So this should be Samwise. Take the 1. Down to 18. And ritual trigger. And they go a diggin'. What you findin'? Sack cat for Sam. Yep, okay. And draw. Trigger, float. Blade of the Blood Chief. So we can then cast Broodscale. Play Temple. Temple equip. Sack spawn. Trigger. Always yield. Always yes, always yield. So we have 5, so we need 8. And 'tis an Emrakul, friend. Always yield. ETB. Our turn, comrade. Grist the Hungertide, Ruthless Lawbringer. Sacrifice another creature when you do destroy target non-land permanent. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of nice. I can make that work, friend. So we can sacrifice another creature, sack the Samwise, pop the Writ. Because then, I guess they still then have Hungertide, so maybe it's better for me to Hungertide, sack Sam, target Grist. Draw. Main. Yeah, so I'm thinking we go... Horizon Canopy can draw a card. We don't really want them drawing cards, but I guess they'll draw a card regardless. We could sack and not put anything into play. That is an option. So we could dig, not put anything to play. Sam goes. But I kind of want to get the Grist out of hand, right? But I guess that gives them a land. We don't really want to give them a land if we can help it. Because if we give them a land, we go Grist, and they have a Ruthless Lawbringer plus Cauldron to hit Emrakul. So maybe it's better, actually, to just sack, yeah. I guess that's true. We also could pop the Horizon Canopy. Draw them a card. I don't think that's relevant. We could Verdant Catacombs, but again, we don't want to give them a land. So, I mean, yeah, probably just best to... I guess we could... Okay, actually. Well, do I want to give them the land? No, we don't. Yeah, so we'll just do this. We're just going to go to combat. Combat, attack Sam. Sam, block Emrakul. I think that's it. Blade triggers, Broodscale triggers, and then we pass. Lethal's on board. And we have an Ancient Stirrings to dig deeper. Yeah, I guess we can fail to find at least. Verdant Catacombs, fetch, fail to find. Let's look at your deck, get some information. Carrion Feeder, Dryad Arbor. Ooh, actually, we can grab the Dryad Arbor, sack that. That's kind of cute. Because it doesn't have restriction on non-land. Sacrifice a creature, yeah. So just go Dryad Arbor. Triggers. Look at the cards. Court of Calling, Young Wolf, Haywire Might. Oh, hold on. Yes. Haywire Might. Trigger. Might target ritual. Yeah, that's a thing you can do. This is the trigger. Stack. And at that point, pass and full. Yield all. And pass. And pass. Alright, glad we found the Arbor. That worked out in our favor. So you can play Cauldron Familiar to block the Broodscale. Hopefully we can find something, but Punch is going to scoop it up. We'll take the win. I guess also we can make some spawns, attach to Emrakul, sack, and go from there. Yeah, that was kind of nutty. Win for game 1. Let's move to game 2. I don't even have a sideboard guide for freaking Sam. Grafdigger's Cage is in. Warping Whale? I mean, Warping Whale gets rid of a lot. What the hell does Samwise even play? Hold up. I haven't looked at our deck list in God knows how long. Samwise, Gamgee. Let's take a look. Sam combo modern. Spells. Court of Calling's an instant. Sideboard, instant. Voidmere, not really applicable here. Looks like they mainly have like Thoughtseize as an instant. It is removal for Cat. It is exile-based removal for Cat, which is relevant. So we go Dismember. Fire Spout's good here. Is Bobble good here? Cat's Return, not cast. So I don't think Bobble's doing much. They have Force. Yeah, it's not doing much at all. Soul Guide Lantern. Pithy Needle for Viscera Seer, because that's their only sack outlet. No, they have Carrion Feeder, Viscera Seer, but looks like they play more Carrion Feeders, so they play a split to try and stop needle effects. Still could be relevant. Cage is good. Might's okay. We can cut the Cavernous Souls since that's not load bearing and they don't have counter magic. Wastecape Battle Mage, not doing a lot. Fire Spout, like I said, Fire Spout, Warping Wheel are tempting. We could cut here. We also could cut some number of Halfling. Fire Spout's tempting. I think we just go Warping Whale and cut 2 and then cut 1 and run it back like this. Yeah, we'll do that. Maybe I bring in Fire Spout in game 3. I'm not sure it's necessary. They don't go wide enough, I think, for me to warrant the Fire Spout. Okay, Command Dismember, all good cards here. Yep, we'll keep this. We'll play the Halfling unless they play a Mana Dork, I suppose. Because they shouldn't be able to get the win on turn 2. I think they're a turn 3 win for the most part. Unless they ramp, in which case, yeah, we'll just go Dismember. Well, do I even care if we bolt the bird? Maybe not. Bloomin' Marsh. And Thoughtseize. The Walking Ballista is actually really good here. If we can get Ballista equipped with a blade, then we're in a really good position. Draw. Second Ballista. Karplusin. Do you have a Fatal Push? Otherwise, we'll have a K-Command X2 on 2, which is good, but that's a push. He's a push. Okay. Figured, but at least it is the Halfling getting hit and not something more relevant. No white. Marionette Apprentice, that's okay. Draw. Forest. Do I play Ballista or hold up Command Dismember? I hold up Command Dismember. Yeah. 3 cards in hand. Go to combat, take 2, down to 17. Second main. What you got? Lush Port, Surveil 1. Ooh, yeah, that's the worst case scenario, arguably. Ritual. I'm really tempted to K-Command Dismember so they can't RIT. I'm really tempted to do so. I'm not gonna lie. But I think I hold it because I'm trying to think of the worst case scenario here. I don't think they can win, so I think we just let their ritual go, and worst comes to worst, we dismember something and then hold up the K command. Ritual. You're also gonna exile the Cauldron Familiar in Yard, which is relevant. Sack the token for what? Is it a sack outlet? It's a goose. Do I care about ramp? Not really. I mean, I kind of do still. Ramp is relevant. So we could get rid of goose. We can't get rid of the familiar now, though, is the problem. Because now they have the food. So we have to do it in response to the activation of the ability. Tezzeret, Gruul, Captain. We're unfortunately short on a land there. Would have been nice if we actually K command, I suppose, because then we could have went for Grafdigger's Cage. So I think we just hold up the command dismember again and pass. Yeah. Do you bring back the cat? No, they're holding the cat and the food. Makes sense. Looks like this is Sam. Sam resolves. Okay, so there's the loop that they are presenting. They'll need to bring back the Cauldron Familiar, but they're gonna have two foods. So I think I have to dismember the Sam now. Sam down. Sam down, Prentice triggers. There's the Carrion Feeder. Again, combat, attack. If they get a Sam off Writ, I lose, correct? So I think I need to go exile, Carrion Feeder, and ramp. Done. Yeah, the feeder needs to go. I'm gonna have to Cauldron Familiar is nonsensical because they can just make the food. And there's the spawn. Here comes the Writ. And pass. We do need to be mindful that our life total is a little bit lower than I'd like. Right now we have 7, 8, 5 short on Emrakul. We can add additional 2s. We're actually only 3 short. Ritual. Sack Marionette Apprentice. There's the Sam. Okay, glad that we did that. I guess if they got the Sam, we weren't dead because then they would need to go for the Cauldron Familiar, but then we kind of get tossed into an awkward situation. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're short. But what I can do here is go Tezzeret, Gruul Captain. He's a Tezzeret. Minus Tezzeret. I would like you, opponent, to hit down my Tezzeret. I'm going to grab a Grafdigger's Cage. I'm going to cast a Grafdigger's Cage. I am going to pass at that point. There's the Cauldron Familiar. And there's a Samwise trigger. And there's a food. Down to 9. Again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Tezzeret will be 13 if they do hit it down. No attacks. The Grafdigger stops their combo. So they need to deal with that before anything else. It also stops Birthing Ritual, which is nice. They attack, I imagine, at Tezzeret. Yes, perfect opponent. Perfect. Planeswalkers are good. They soak up damage, even when they don't deserve to. And step. Might. Might can now get rid of Cage. That's a problem. If they find a sack outlet, they win. Cage down. Ritual. Do you find a sack outlet? Sacks the familiar for... Marionette Apprentice. It is not a sack outlet. Which means we do get our Emrakul. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, we do need a land. Halflings in yard. Shoot. Shoot. You are correct. I need a land. A land off top I'll need. We're down to a theoretical 8. Return target historic card to graveyard to hand. Land. Rumble could still work here. I will rumble. Because right now we're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're short 1. So in that case, we'll go Forest, Rumble. Add some types to yards, please. There's Broodscale, Emrakul, land. That is neutral, but doesn't give me anything of value, for God's sake. So in that case, I will grab Grove of the Burn Willows, question mark. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh no, I should have grabbed the Emrakul. Shoot. I thought I was still short, but no, that would have actually got me exactly because we had the land plus since that was neutral. And then the Ballista. Oh no, are we still good? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, we're good. We're good. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. We're still good. Ballista. Counting to 13's hard, okay? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And done. And pass. Our turn, comrade. You should probably, what, return Sam to hand? Is that instant speed? Yeah, you can do that instant speed. So yeah, sack 3 food, bring back Sam to hand, I think is probably right. Whenever another creature or an artifact you control is put into the graveyard, I lose a life. So I'll lose 3. Black. Was push target. I guess you can't push target Emrakul. You can push target Servo. So we're at a theoretical 6. Yeah, push trigger. And then you probably Sam target Sam. Put a Sam in hand. Because if you don't, I will. Interesting. I'm going to go familiar instead. I guess you can go familiar, then Sam. Then push me down to 4. Yeah? I think that's probably correct. They can't get Cat back with Sam's ability. Wait, why wouldn't you do that? Weird. We draw Force of Vigor. We can't play the Vigor. Actually, we can play the Vigor, funny enough. We can Vigor, pop 2 food, or pop a food, pop a writ. But I probably want to do that after I attack and sack. Yeah, they should have definitely sacked all 3 food. So what's the play here? We want to attack the Marionette Apprentice first. Block with Emrakul. Birthing Writ sacks Sam. Put Sam into yard. Then we will tap Goose, sack of food for Force of Vigor. Destroy Ritual, destroy a food, leaving 1 food left. I think that is correct as far as our sequencing is concerned. Let's go to combat. Attack with a Marionette Apprentice. We go to block. So now we go to end step, ritual trigger, sack Sam. Pull nothing unless it's another might. And even then, I don't think we do. We then pop writ, pop food, leave him just with a goose and a cauldron familiar. And a food, I think. Yeah, it seems right. Go to end step, trigger. We see Grave Carla, Beseju, Marionette Apprentice, Ruthless Lawbringer. Actually, Lawbringer is kind of interesting here because when this enters, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do destroy target non-land permanent, we can then pop a food. That leaves them with food, food, ritual. Sack, for example, the Cauldron Familiar or the Goose. Probably the Goose. Yeah, I think we sack Sam the Lawbringer. Sacrifice Goose. No, we actually can't sacrifice Goose. We have to sacrifice the Familiar, yeah. So sacrifice Familiar, pop a food, and then Force of Vigor to then pop Ritual Food, leaving nothing but Goose. Of course, Goose can make a food to bring back... Yeah, Goose can make a food to bring back, which is a bit annoying. I'll sacrifice the Sam, though. I think that's correct. Sack Sam. And then from here, Ruthless Lawbringer. Lawbringer. Trigger. Sacrifice cat. Target food. And then generate green, sack food, vigor, targets. Everything's down. Next turn we can Ballista pop the Lawbringer, so I'm not as... Oh, I guess we could have... Yeah, we could have target Goose, held priority for green. Yeah, that would have been another move. That way they couldn't make food. Yeah. That is a fair point. Forest. Did miss that. Because, yeah, I did want to get rid of the food generation if possible. X equals 3. There's Ballista. I think Ballista should give me enough coverage here. Creates a food for the cat. We attack with Emrakul. End step. Do I need to pop the Gilded Goose? Not necessarily. We're down to a theoretical 5. We can pop the Goose, block the Lawbringer unless they have a push, in which case then we kind of want to, I guess, no, so we'll hold. We'll hold, food token, fetch down to 10. Do you go Dryad Arbor? Surveil, okay. Imagine looking for Grist at this point. Yeah, Emrakul's, when you take control of an opponent's turn, it can be pretty tricky. Horn Soul Trader, wicked. Did not realize that was also here. Alright. They can crack a food, go up to 13, but that's still lethal. They can make a food go up to 14. So as long as we leave one back for Ballista to ping them one, they're dead. Go to combat. Go to attacks. Go to blocks. Do we block? I think we have to block. It'd be too risky not to, I feel. Go to blocks. Like, what's the worst case scenario? They don't have the Gravecrawler loop. Go to blocks. I guess we could just ping. We don't even need to block. Yeah, we'll just ping. Always yield. Because we just need one left over. We need to deal them 14 damage, basically. Ping, I think is the safest, down to 1. There's another Goose. You can still sack 1. I guess you can sack 2 now. Yeah, I guess you can sack 1, then... No, not even. I think we're still clear for the win, because I think they can only go up to 14. And we have Ballista, which can also grow. So, go to combat. We attack with the Ballista as well. Oh, I guess they can block the Geese. Yeah. Go to attacks. Attack. So you have to block both, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grow. Add a counter. You make a food. Two damage. What was the thought process there, opponent? You needed to crack the food and also play the cat, right? But even then, like I said, you wouldn't have had enough. You need to also block the Ballista with Goose. Alright, we'll take the win. Yeah, that's my only thought. Maybe they missed trample. That's the only thing that makes sense there. Be fair, there is a lot of text on this card, to be fair. So, that's my only thought. But that being said, we'll be back for match number 5. Alright, we're back for match number 5 on the draw for game 1. I'll keep Gemstone. What do I pitch for Gemstone? That's actually a good question. I kind of want the halfling, so we can ideally ramp into Tezzeret if we draw it off top. Fleshraker is nice as a win condition. Suppose my opponent could be on Ruby Storm. Can we get to Ballista X2? Land halfling? Yes. So if they do play... No, Ral is... oh god, Ral is 3 toughness, isn't it? Scryfall. Ral, Monsoon Mage. Realm, Monsoon Mage, 3 toughness. Damn. It is chunky. So in that case, I think we pitch the Ballista then. Yeah. Pitch Ballista. Pass. Tis Bloodstained Mire. Passin'. Ooh. Hello, Temple. Opponent says, I know who you are, I follow you. I appreciate you for watching my videos. We shall play the Flash Raker. Flash Raking time. And Passin', Bloodstained Mire, fetch 19. Surveil, looking like it is Ruby Storm after all. We pass. Would love to see a K command. Tezzeret. Tezzeret may be too slow. Ruby Medallion. Actually, Tezzeret's still good, I think. No, I think it is too slow. Draw. Rumble. Thinking. We can go Karplusan, Forest, Broodscale. We don't want to gain them life right now. Do we tap the Temple for it? I mean, if we... Actually, no, we... Not Rumble first. We go Broodscale first. Broodscale first. Broodscale. Broodscale triggers. Broodscale triggers. ETB triggers. Rumble. Ping. Rumble. There's the Saga, but it feels like the Saga's too slow at this point. So maybe just go for the Broodscale to try and deal more damage. Yeah, that might be necessary. So I think we do that. We pass, we go to combat, swing for 2, and we hope for maybe like a K command at this point. Basically, do we die, opponent? Let's see it. Do you have the turn 3 win? Ren's Resolve. Oh, interesting. Ren's Resolve actually puts it into the exile pile, not into a separate window now. Interesting. Artist Talent. 4 cards in hand. Impulse. Trigger. Glimpse the Yard. Ritual. Do you have another... I guess you can just Ritual to cycle. Ritual. 3 more mana. Impulse. Brick. Ooh. Actually, no, Pith is fine. No, never mind. No, it's not. It's like, Pith is fine until it's not. Yeah, we needed something. We needed something off the top of that Rumble. Whether it be Vexing Bauble, Soul Guide Lantern, Pithy Needle, maybe. I mean, we force them to play it out. It's not deterministic. Ritual. Into Impulse. Manamorphose. Makes sense. So that way you have more cards to pitch for talent. There's the Ral. I mean, yeah, this should just be GG's. I don't foresee a way out of this one, unfortunately. I guess actually the way we win this one is they kill themselves with Ral. I've had it happen before. Funny thing. Past in Flames, Ren's Resolve. I have had it happen before where they've lost like 10 flips before. So it's not outside their own possibility, but I'm pretty sure I'm dead. Ral. I mean, with the Artist Talent, I think it doesn't matter because they're just going to draw eventually into the Grape Shot. It's not even going to matter. Not even going to matter. Oh, there's a Ral flip anyways. Ral. Still no Grape Shot. So unless they drew it. Keep on keeping on, opponent. There's the ritual. Have we seen a wish yet? No, no wish either. Glimpse. You can also Valakut, draw a card, basically. Manamorphose, draws a card. Watch for some reason they just didn't register Wish or a Grape Shot main. Pull an LSV. How, like, have they not hit a Wish or a Grape Shot yet? Manamorphose. They must have the Grape Shot in hand. That's the only explanation. That's the only thing that makes sense at this point. Wish. Okay, there's the Wish. Wish for Grape Shot, and we did. And Grape Shot. Targets me. And dead. And press 6. Resolve all. No. I mean, at this point, I'll just concede. Okay, we got there. We got there eventually. Sideboard and Ruby Storm. Let's take a look. Ruby Storm. We cut Flesh Rake, Emrakul, Rumble, Needle. Why did I cut the Needle? I guess because I just have a ton of cards I'm bringing in, like Grafdigger, Sphere, Whale. So, Grafdigger, Sphere, Whale. I feel like I should be bringing in Dismember as well. I feel like I could bring in my entire sideboard, to be completely honest. But I mean, I guess the half lane helps accelerate us. Got the Gemstone. We cut Rumble, Fleshraker, Pithy Needle. Should probably cut the Might. I feel like I should probably cut the Might. Like the Might, I guess the Might's one of the few cards in the deck right now that interacts with Ruby Medallion, unless I add in the Wayscape. Yeah, I guess, but I feel like I should cut maybe 2 half lanes for Dismember. Probably. At least do that. Alright, let's run this way. See what we got on the play for game 2. There's the Whale, there's Fleshraker, there's Tez. Let's run it. Temple, pass. And pass. Unfortunately, Whale is not Kindred. Card would be so much better. Draw. Grove of the Burn Willows. I mean, they could win on 2 if they go Ritual, Mana Reducer, Ritual into Impulse Draws. That's not as likely, so I think we just stick with Flesh Rake here. That way it can go Tez into a Hate piece. Either that or just hold up the Whale. I mean, Tez can go for Cage, for Vaccine Bauble. Fetch. Could also go for, not Needle, Haywire Might. So I guess that's true. 1, 2, I guess no, we wouldn't have enough for Haywire Might. Damn. Impulse. Draw. K command. K command's tempting. So you can hold up Whale command. Probably correct, because, I mean, both of them get rid of Ral. One of them also counters sorceries. At the same time, actually, I wonder if I go Tezzeret, trigger. No, then we can't play anything else. We could command X3, still no. So I wonder what the play here is. The K command gets rid of Ral, so does the whale, but the whale does stop sorcery speed spells. So probably just right to hold the K command and the whale. Let's do that. Go to combat, swing a flesh rake, and pass. I mean, they just cast the Ren's Resolve, that's fine. They play the Ral, we K command it in response to a ritual. Unfortunately, all the rituals are instant, so the whale doesn't do much there. Yeah, we have a lot of options right now. K command for Piff, K command for Ral, Warping Whale for a sorcery speed spell, which could also be Piff. Ren's Resolve. There's the Ral, there's Writ. In that case, we could... Playing the K command doesn't make much sense here. We probably just hold it and draw Rumble. Rumble is -1. We at least need a K command, X equals 2. If we go Tez, it's X equals 1. I guess we could go for Vexing Bauble, but I'm not sure that's good enough. So I think we just go Stirrings. Stirrings will dig. What does Stirrings find? Stirrings finds Broodscale. Ooh. Oh no, that makes the Tez more tempting, but I think we can do that next turn off the K command. Yeah. Okay, I think we have the win next turn. So we'll attack the Flesh Rake down to 13. This should be the win. I think we have the win here as it stands. The biggest thing is right now I want both Command and Whale because it means that we have multiple pieces of removal and counter magic to hold up. Medallion. Medallion is a problem though. You play the Ral now? If you play the Ral Ritual, you just play the Ritual instant speed. That's fine. We have the Whale in a pinch. They're hesitant to play the Ral because we're holding up 2. Manamorphose. Resolves can't do anything about that either. I mean, we have the Whale for Piff, so that's fine. So they just try and go through Piff, then I don't mind as much. I think you just have to hold until then, more or less, right? Ritual. Ral. Wish. So I'm gonna first attempt to ramp exile Ral. And done. Triggers. I can only imagine you have more instant speed spells. I'd be shocked if you didn't hold any. Right? Wait, you didn't hold any? That's a choice. Ral trigger. The question now becomes whether or not I counter the wish. I think I don't counter the wish, I just hold for whatever they have, whatever they wish for. I guess they can Grape Shot? Yeah, we have to wait for the Piff. I think that's correct. It's kind of like Karn sometimes. Sometimes you don't want to counter Karn. Sometimes you want to counter whatever they wish for Karn. There's the Piff, and now we cast the Whale. We counter target sorcery spell. And this is why I want to keep both up. Just in case. Triggers. Whale. Piff. At this point, we pass in full. We got nothing else. I feel like they should have held back at least one ritual, right? For the round. Poof, Brothers at End. Jesus, okay. Well, that's unfortunate, but we're kind of okay with this in the grand scheme. So, Urza Saga. We can't win this turn now, because we can cast cast Tezzeret, we can cast Blade, but we can't do anything else. So what we can do instead is we can start off a Rumble. Let's start off a Rumble, and then we'll play Tezzeret for Grave Hate. We should have Soul Guide Lantern. That way we can just clear the grave. Yes. Either that or we go for Graph Digger's Cage. I guess which one's better? We also do have another option, actually. So we have multiple options here. We can either go Grave Hate, or we can go Haywire Might. Haywire Might, we could get rid of a Ruby Medallion. Cage stops from Grave, but not from Exile, unfortunately. So the question now is Soul Guide Lantern or Haywire Might. If they have another mana reducer, then it doesn't, like, the Haywire Might doesn't matter. Though they do have to pay mana for it. If they have to pay mana for it, even if they have another land, they could play the Piff but nothing else. They would need another ritual. Ooh. Maybe the Tezzeret into Haywire Might's correct. Yeah, we know there isn't a ritual in hand, so I think we have to go for Might. Tezzeret. Minus Tezzeret. Then we go for Haywire Might here and tax them. Trigger Tez. Might Exalt Medallion. Yeah, because if they had a ritual, they would have played it to try and save the Rao. Ren's Resolve. Finds another medallion, finds a Rao. Actually, no, it finds just a medallion. Passing. Draw. Trigger Broodscale. So at this point, I will Rumble. We could theoretically, I guess we actually want to kind of hold up the Saga. As strange as that sounds, I'm gonna Rumble first. Rumble. Damsphere Blade. Does Blade give us the win? I think Blade gives us the win because we can cast the Broodscale. We can cast Blade. No, it doesn't. We're short by 1, it looks like. So I think we just go Damsphere, right? Damsphere taxes them. Because Blade, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1. Then we wouldn't have enough. We could equip, we could go Ballista, but it wouldn't be enough. So I think we go for the Damsphere instead. Go for the Damsphere. And now we can do a few things. We can play the Brood for 1. Play the Brood, play the Damsphere, taxes them, And at that point, we'll pass. Fetch Wooded Foothills. Yeah, we're one short on the Blade, unfortunately. But next turn we do have Blade and we have Lethal on board. Both because of Saga, and then Tezzeret can find Ballista. So that should be enough. We don't know what's in their hand. 3 unknowns. We know there's a Ruby Medallion in Exile that they can play. So they do have a mana reducer, but it's not going to reduce because of Damp Sphere. That actually makes you think I should probably swap Damp Sphere for Trinisphere in the lab version, because you can play Trinisphere more consistently. So I guess it doesn't play into Titan or Tron, yeah. So you pay 2 for the Medallion. Unless you have a Brotherhood End. Prismatic. Okay. You have 2 mana left. Huh. I mean, I guess the other choices we could have actually... I guess actually what I should have done. I do think I missed a line that would have probably secured me the win more thoroughly. I think what I could have done... But I have had enough. We had played the Rumble, played Damp Sphere, triggered Tez. No, I wouldn't have been able to play the Cage or the whatchamacallit, Soul Guide. I guess we could have activated Saga minus Tezzeret. 1 target. Cast with 1 color. So they're trying to flip Rao. They flip Rao. That fails. What's the benefit of that? I guess you can kill kill Broodscale, but that's fine. We still have the win in hand. They just don't know it. Trigger. Float. For Blade of the Bloodchief. Trigger. Broodscale. Equip. Adapt. Always yes, always yield. And at that point, always yield. Minus Tezzeret for Ballista. And now we just need to get to 20. We're good. Yeah, there is some thought to maybe having just made a construct with Saga, and then Tezzeret for either Graph Diggers or Soul Guide Lantern. There was some consideration there. All right. Let's see here. We want the gemstone. We can cut the cavern. I think we just run it back as is. Yeah. Alrighty. We need lands. Like, a turn 1 Damp Sphere, or turn 2 Damp Sphere is good. Don't get me wrong. It's also possible they just win. We have 2 draws with 19. So for each draw, that's roughly 35%. So it should be a pretty significant percentage that we do draw into a land for Damp Sphere on 2. It's interaction. Slows them down unless they have a prismatic ending. I guess the question is, do we have a fast enough follow-up after, even if we played on turn 2? And that I don't know. We have the Broodscale, we have the Tezzeret. Like 60% on drawing into a land in 2. So... yeah, probably should keep. I'll keep it. I've kept worse odds. We have interaction. We have the combo into Emrakul. There's our land. Gemstone, if you could have spent one card earlier, that'd been awesome. Instead of that Emrakul, that'd been perfect. So we'll pass. Alright, does opponent try to attempt the turn 2 win? That's the question. Artist talent, that's fine. Draw. E-temp. Cast the sphere. Pass. Pass. So now they're being taxed. Wooded Foothills fetch. Mountain. Brotherhood End? Blood Moon. That's kind of rude, I'm not gonna lie. So now they're looking for Brotherhood End or a, whatchamacallit. I guess we have Tezzeret. Yeah, we at least have something here. Tezzeret. Minus Tezzeret. We don't have a... I guess we have Springleaf Drum, but we need a body on board, don't we? I guess we could Springleaf Drum and then maybe eventually get to Ballista. No, we need Might. Springleaf Drum and Might get rid of Moon, right? Otherwise, we could just grab another hate piece. That might be a better idea. So just grab another hate piece in the way of either Graph Diggers or Vexing Bauble. Thing is, like, having multiple hate pieces on board into a Brotherhood End feels really bad. So I wonder if we do try to go the Soul Guide Lantern route. And try and draw into something. At that point, we can draw into Ballista, draw into a green source, and try and go from there. Otherwise, we could just go Blade and Pray. If we go Blade, we can play Broodscale Blade, but it's not really doing much. More hate pieces or try and accelerate. Let's go for... I guess Ballista could just pressure the board. Yeah, you know what? We're going to Ballista. We're going to go Ballista because we can Ballista and then we can 0 on Ballista and grow it. And at a certain point, Ballista will just take over the game. I think that's probably correct at this point. Yeah. It's a little bit weak overall, but I think it's correct. Ral. Rude. Damn Sphere Friend. I need a land. Actually, I would really like a land right now. That's a halfling. That's not a land. X equals 2. Or X equals 1, rather. Done. Trigger. 0 on Ballista. We'll pass. Unfortunately, I can't deal with the Ral. But next turn I can grow Ballista. Pain cost. Manamorphose. This now means that if they do generate white and have Prismatic, trigger. Runs Resolve to Yard. Manamorphose. It is a -1, because not... I guess it's mana neutral now, because it's -1 for Ral, +1 for Damn Sphere. Do you have the Prismatic? It will cost 3. Yep, there's the Prismatic. I guess costs 2, then -1. Yeah. Do you flip the Ral? They do not flip the Ral. There's Ritual. I mean, it comes down now to just what you have in hand. We can't interact with Ral too well. We could feign having a Dismember, but we're just going to yield until the turn here. Same thing with the Artist talent. Reckless Impulse to Yard. There's a Writ. Do you have a Piff? Damn. So, I mean, it was probably correct for us to just go with Soul Guide in the grand scheme. Like, I'll see hindsight's 2020. The Ballista was going to pressure the board, otherwise we had no board presence. So I wonder if the Soul Guide or Graph Dig was right as a second hate piece. Probably in the grand scheme. I mean, to be fair, if we had drawn into a land rather than the half lane, we could have then put Ballista 3 to ping down the Ral. Though admittedly that wouldn't have done anything about Ruby's medallion, so maybe the second hate piece was right. Unfortunate. I guess that's true. Soul Guide probably wouldn't have done as much. So maybe the Graph Diggers would have been the best case. That way they wouldn't have been able to do anything. They could have pennied the guide, but they would have had to choose between penning the cage. They would have to choose between the cage or the Damn Sphere, right? They couldn't do both. So if we had grabbed the cage, then at least we would have had something maybe. But Ral still would have ended up flipping at some point. I guess they wouldn't have been able to flip it. They wouldn't have had enough. Yeah, so I think maybe the best case scenario for us was to have grabbed the cage rather than the Ballista. The only unfortunate part is, like, then you play directly into a Brotherhood end, but at least it gives you turns. Because they end, but they didn't do anything else. At this point, it's probably deterministic. But we'll keep on keeping on. There's the Ral. We have an exile, I guess. Yeah, if Ballista was caged, then maybe we would have been in a good position. I mean, the Ral could still have flipped and then could have pinged down. There's the Grape Shot. Yeah, I think that is it. Another round. At this point, I'm just going to pass in full. I can't do anything meaningful. And they know that. That Blood Moon kind of wrecked me. I think our hand was a lot more promising before that Blood Moon was on board. Unfortunate. So go cage, lock him out of Piff, or go Ballista and threaten the board. If they don't have anything, then Ballista can start just taking over the game, threaten Ral, threaten life total. I mean, I guess how many turns would it take for Ballista to win? 3 damage, down to 13, down to a theoretical 10, right? Yeah, they storm here, they Piff, they storm. So that is, in fact, the win. Unfortunate. Alrighty. It is what it is. Yep, we'll take the remainder. And then Piff. Piff will then flashback Grape Shot. Grape Shot will then kill me. Let me just see the Piff, and then I'll concede. There's the Piff. I will concede. You got it. Alrighty. Well, I think, I guess knowing what we knew now, the cage was correct. But like, just playing cage and doing nothing just feels wicked bad. Because then we're just trying to draw into what at that point? We're trying to draw into, I guess, Ballista or into another artifact. Then minus Tez for a Soul Guide Lantern, so then we have a green source. That'd be kind of like the option. We either try and find, we either get Cage and then we kind of wait. We either try and find one of our 3 forests or another artifact. That way we can then, at that point, generate green to try and combo win. Yeah. I think overall the Blood Moon kind of sealed the deal there early. Kind of knows off of green. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. That being said, though, that there will be the end of tonight's YouTube video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback. Be much appreciated. For as much that I hope you all learn from me in both my success and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button as we continue to grow this channel. However, if you want to catch these videos live, you can catch me over on Twitch on Mondays through Thursdays starting at 10 p.m. CST and Fridays through Sundays at 8 p.m. CST. Or you can head over to my Patreon where you can watch these videos early and ad-free. That being said though, folks, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!